Okay, I want to show you the easiest way to tighten your AC belt when you have a really obnoxious squeal noise every time you turn your AC on. I've seen a few videos on YouTube on how to do this, but in my opinion, they were overcomplicated. So I want to show you the quickest and simplest way to get this done, just to save you some time and frustration. And just about anybody with a few tools could do this. A few things to note is this skinny belt right here is not your AC belt. This is your power steering pump belt. The fat belt down there is the AC belt on the AC compressor, and that's the one you're going to be tightening. In some videos, they were showing to remove your power steering pump, remove your power steering reservoir, and I didn't have to do any of that, and I was able to fix the problem and get it tight. You'll look right down here underneath the alternator. There is this wing nut right there. That is what you're going to tighten in order to tighten your belt. But before you can tighten that, you have to loosen two bolts on a bracket. And the easiest way to get to it is to take your tire off. Take your front tire off, and you'll see that this plastic cover right here is pinned up on these holes. And all you do is just kind of pry at the sides where these indentions are with something like this, and then grab a pair of needle nose pliers just like this, and then just pull these tabs out. Pull these little pins out, and this will drop down. And you want to make sure to inspect your belt. Make sure that it's not cracked, frayed, torn, and make sure it's not gummy, like really, really soft, because that could be your issue, and it won't matter if you tighten it. You might even cause more problems for yourself. But here is the area you're going to be working with. You can see there's a threaded nut right here, or a threaded bolt, and that's what that wing nut is attached to, that you're going to be tightening from the top side. But before you can tighten that, you have to loosen these two bolts. This one on the outside is a 14 millimeter, and this one is a 13 millimeter. When you loosen these bolts, just loosen them just enough, just barely, and that will allow that bracket to slide when you tighten up that wing nut. And if you look, there's some gray on the threads right there by my finger shadow. That's how much I adjusted mine. I would say I probably did 2.5 to 3 turns on that wing nut, and my belt is now tight enough it doesn't squeak anymore. But how you would get to these two bolts is pretty simple. I used just an extension that's probably around 10 inches, a straight extension, and my 14 millimeter to get to this one on the outside. But this one on the inside, you're going to need a swivel. So if you have something like this, put this on the end of your extension. If you don't have something like this, you can get it on Amazon. You can get it at like O'Reilly's or any auto parts store. Just make sure it's the size for your driver. And I had to use an extension because it's not a straight shot. But however you do it, you just need to be able to loosen those up a hair, then come up to the top side. And you can get your hand down in there. You kind of have to put your hand backwards like this. You can get your fingers on there, and you can twist it pretty easy at first, and then it'll get a little bit harder. And I twisted it to the point that I couldn't twist it anymore, 2 or 3 turns. And then I simply just went back underneath. I tightened up those 2 bolts on that bracket, and it no longer squeals. You can look up online how much play the belt is supposed to have. They say like 1/4 inch of play, and then there's also a way you can like turn it and know how much play it's supposed to have. And I have mine to about where I think it should be. But I hope that this helps, because I really needed this video today and I wasn't able to find it. But I did figure it out, and so I wanted to share it with you, hoping that it helps somebody. All right, take care.